December 6, 2023. I would ask that everyone bow their head for a moment of silent prayer. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Ledger and the Express Times, Warren County Zone, and by posting a copy on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcaro.
Here.
Councilman McQuaid.
Here.
Councilman Polito.
Here.
Council President Wright.
Here.
Mayor Mangucci.
Here. Need a motion to come out of executive session?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
The Township Council met in executive session where it discussed privilege matters involving attorney-client privilege for redevelopment plan and redevelopment area, attorney-client privilege verification of a paper street, attorney-client privilege verification of an alleyway request, and attorney-client privilege for a PR contract. Minutes from the executive session will be released at such time as the council deems no public harm will come from it and no official action will be taken.
Thank you. At this time, we have Tyler Barr to be sworn in as one of our new police officers. Tyler?
Repeat after me. I, Tyler Barr,
I, Tyler Barr,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the government established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
and I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of police officer
all the duties of police officer
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Just another fine addition, I'm sure, to our police department. As I've said ad nauseam, I believe we have the best police department in Warren County. So congratulations to you. Be safe out there. And again, my congratulations. Thank you, sir.
Before we move on, also don't have a seat. You stand here. We have a proclamation for the Township of Lopatcong to James E. Mangucci. Whereas the Township of Lopatcong desires to publicly recognize James E. Mangucci and pay tribute to his very special member of the community for many years of distinguished service. And whereas Jamie Mangucci was elected to the office of mayor in November of 2016 and served as mayor for 2 3-year terms. And whereas it is notable to mention that James E. Mangucci has served the Township of Lopatcong for a total of 21 years. He served as councilman from 1999 continuously until his term ended in December 2012. And whereas the community looks back over its many years, few individuals stand out for their contributions which have made Lopatcong such an outstanding place to live. And now therefore be resolved that the council and the citizens of Lopatcong, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, are immensely proud to recognize James E. Mangucci for his 21 years of memorable service. Thank you, James.
All right. I'm sure as my significant other can attest, last few nights have not been easy. I struggled with what I was going to say here tonight. I'm probably unique in the way that this journey for me didn't start with mayor or council. It started for me back when I was 6 years old. That's when my father ran his first race out here. He was a great guy. I'm honored to have been his son. He set a bar for me that most people wouldn't attain. And I know I've talked about him several times, but I never mentioned my mother, who supported what he did and supported what I did. And when I was about to be sworn in for my first term, my mother she was out of town. It was always done on New Year's Day, and she had asked if we can move it. I said, "No, Mom, it's always January 1st." And then when Doug became mayor in 2000, we moved it to the first Wednesday of the month, which is when our meetings are. And by the time my second term came around, my mother had passed. So she never saw me sitting up here. So it's been a journey. It's been a lifetime. I remember riding around in the plow trucks with my father and the road crew early on, just as a kid. And I thought it was kind of a neat thing. I was very proud of the fact that my father was a leader in his community, and I just carried it on. But I did write down some things tonight, because this township does not run with its council. It runs with its volunteers and a lot of people. A lot of things go into making this community what it is. It certainly isn't just your mayor or your council people. But there were people, and I'm going to throw some names out here that most of you aren't even going to know, but from the volunteer side: Ben Long, Bill Pickle, Stanley Jessamine, Connie Miller, Darian Smith, Dick Struthers, Barry Stiers, Tim Weiss, Jim Marinelli Sr. and Jr., and all our squad and our fire members. They're really what makes this township great. It certainly is not us. From the political side of things, just some of the names that the name Mengucci has served with over a total of 42 years. Jim O'Malley, Franny Aiello, Kathy Dagan, Carl Mellert. Judge Kingfield was a councilman here in the township back in the 60s. Ron Gutek, Cliff Clymer, Russ Stewart, Ray Miller, Dan Rader, Bill Baker, Victor Campery, Matt Curry, Jim Fritz, Jim Rush, Frank Updike, Doug Steinhardt, and Bob Merritt. So we've been around a long time. So this is not just some guy sitting up here who's just getting out after 6 years. This is my life. And whether we've agreed or disagreed over the years, that's all well and good. I hope you always feel that you've been shown respect from this chair with me. I think it was Billy Martin, who played for the Yankees when they retired his number. He said that he was not the best Yankee, but he was certainly the proudest. And I will tell you that while I certainly was not Lopatcong Township's best mayor, I leave tonight the proudest. Somebody asked me, one time why you ran, and I told a funny story. I said, I grew up in this township being Elmo's son. And then I was working a concession stand one night for one of the sporting events in here in the township. And some lady came up to me, she goes, "Oh, you're Nick's dad." That's my son. And I remember going home, and I said to my wife at the time, I said, "Guess I got to run to get my own identity." I said, because I've either been Elmo's son or Nick's dad. So I leave you tonight. I'll be in the back row next meeting. I'm not going anywhere. I've got too much time invested and too much love for the township and its people to just simply walk away. But there comes a time, and I've reached that time. I'm sure Allison could tell you that the last year has been tough. I know when I gave up playing softball, I was kind of like, geez, I got a game tonight. So that's when you know it's time to get out. And I found myself doing that. Geez, I've got a meeting tonight, but I'd really rather just go for a walk. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm still working full time. I'm looking to retire within the next year. So again, I leave you honored to have been Elmo's son, and certainly proud to be Nick's father. You people have been great. A lot of people have been great as they've found out I'm getting out. Maybe that's why they've been nice to me, but who knows? It's been a great ride. To the township employees, they're a great group. Beth Diltz has guided many, many mayors and council members through. She certainly knows her job. She's been a tremendous asset to this township, and my thanks to you for it. Kim Brown, our CFO, she came in January of 18 when I came in, so I kind of have a special place in my heart for her because we walked in here and within 2 months, we had a huge problem in our tax office, as you all know. So we've gotten through that. We got through the pandemic. I was probably one of the first mayors to go back to in-person meetings because I just couldn't stand the Zoom meetings. I thought they were ridiculous. Either somebody was muted or somebody, it was just not right. So we've gotten through all that. We've certainly have righted the ship financially. We've got a good surplus. And we're not borrowing money from our sewer account anymore. And it just a lot of good things have happened up here. My thanks to Mr. McQueen, Mr. Belcaro, Mr. Polito, and Mr. Wright. They've certainly supported everything that I wanted to do. And as I said earlier, was never Lopatcong's best mayor, but I certainly was its proudest. Our best mayor just walked into the room. So, Senator, thanks for coming out tonight. It's a pleasure to see you and your family here, Trudy, Doug Jr. You probably missed my spiel, but as you can tell, it's typical Mengucci, heartfelt, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. So, again, we got a meeting to get through tonight. Thanks for the proclamation. I certainly appreciate it, and we go from here. So, thank you.
May I say a few words?
Yes.
It's been an honor to serve you for the past 6 years. Thank you for your service, from councilman to mayor, and your family history. This town is, it's a privilege to have someone like yourself to get involved and to be faithful to the township.
Thank you.
We've accomplished a lot in 6 years.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of roads. That was one of your goals to do, and we continue to do roads. We have maintained and kept our property taxes at bay, local. I believe it's through 2016 amounts, which is something to be proud of, to help the taxpayers in this town. And we have more to do in this town. But I just have one question. You're the third mayor I served with. I'm going to be moving on to the fourth one in January. Is it me? But thank you.
You've got
Get inside.
You've got the facts.
But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Mayor,
Yes.
if I will, I'd like to make a few comments.
Sure.
I'd like to take this opportunity to read a few prepared public remarks about you as you sit on this dais for the last time as our mayor. I would like to first of all express my sincerest thank you so very much for your many years of dedicated service to the citizens of Lopatcong Township as a public official. We all know that you served on this council following in the footsteps of your father for a great many years during 2 separate timeframes, culminating with you being elected as our mayor. Your 21 total years of civic-minded service to this town is remarkable and inspiring. On many given council agendas, you have led this council on making decisions that impact several topics ranging from police and fire protection, budget, taxes, road maintenance, park redevelopment, warehouses, cell service, vendor contracts, and salaries. To be effective, you must attend council meetings, public meetings, liaison meetings, and town-sponsored public events. It's a lot of time, and it's certainly not done for the money or the recognition. It's done because you are so passionate about our town and its people. To coin the words that you often recite, we are a people helping people community, and you live by those spoken words. It was only during these past few years that I was able to serve with you, and it's been a very rewarding experience witnessing the passion you have for our town, its people, and its future. I wish you the very best as your time as an elected official ends and you begin your retirement journey. Although you've earned this break, I only ask that you give us the benefit of your wisdom and experience moving forward. As your tenure here ends, I will end with the 2 simple words that I started with. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. Jim?
Basically, same as Lou and Rich, I want to thank you for your service to our community, and I hope it continues, not as the capacity of mayor, but as someone who cares. you always did care, ever since I've known you, which was long before I was on council. I always appreciated your advice you gave me when I first started considering running, and it's been an honor.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, one more, buddy.
Go ahead.
All right, aside of knowing your father and growing up with you for the last 55 years, it's been that long. It's been a pleasure working with you to maintain and improve our hometown. For the past 6 years, your dedication and commitment to this town is surely in your blood and has become more appreciative and more respected. I wish you the best in the future endeavors towards relaxation and retirement. Thank you again for all your hard work as our mayor of Lopatcong.
Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. All right, under old business, number 1 is to approve the minutes of the executive and regular session minutes for November 1st, 2023. Gentlemen, if you've had the opportunity to read them, any additions, deletions, corrections? If there are none, entertain a motion.
Make the motion.
Second.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Abstain.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Mangucci?
Yes, ordinance number 23-22 is the second reading and public hearing to amend and supplement Chapter 163 entitled Privately Owned Salt Storage. Oh, that's right, yes, I did forget one thing. Does anybody have any comments on agenda items only? Donna? Sorry, I got off track, obviously.
Donna Schneider, 26 Meadowview. Jim, before I start with my questions, I just want to wish you the best. And I met you at a Board of Education meeting in Lopatcong trying to advocate for my son. And you stood up and said, whatever you need for your son, you let us know at council and we'll help regarding playgrounds and access to the areas. So that was my first meeting with you. So I hope that sentiment still continues on, and I will get to the next. So the agenda items, attorney-client privilege, I'm having a hard time understanding why all 4 of those are in executive session.
So, the PR contract is a negotiation for the contract.
Sorry, yeah, that one I get.
Okay.
Sorry. 1 through 3.
So, the redevelopment plan, redevelopment areas negotiation with, the Highland Council on what they need to, comply with certain restrictions, and it's a negotiation and a back and forth, so it has to do with, discussing those issues.
That,
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. So, yeah, and so it has to do with negotiation and giving advice as to how to deal with certain issues on how to comply with certain requirements.
it just doesn't seem like it should be attorney-client privilege. That should be a public, a discussion between Highlands and council. There's nothing contractual, there's nothing about litigation, there's nothing in there that should be an executive session. So I would appreciate maybe some openness on that one in today's meeting and talk about to the residents what this is, because you don't show that here, you don't show that it's for the Highlands, you don't show any information on here. So this looks like to us that you're planning on doing a redevelopment and not sharing it with the township.
That's not what it is.
But that's what it looks like.
I understand. And as for the other 2, there are discussions with individuals that had requests for the township, and it's really a privacy issue.
It's not a privacy issue because you're not buying the properties. It's not town money that's purchasing these. These are not private issues. These issues should be made public. Every other town does paper roads in public, and the person who's requesting the paper road should be at the meeting. It shouldn't be done behind closed doors. And these three items really should not be in executive session. I believe it's a breach of sunshine laws. It's not, you can honestly sit up here and say that those are all valid reasons to be in there?
Yeah, your point is taken. We'll reassess them and look at the issues, and we'll take future steps as necessary.
Yeah, I appreciate that,
Okay.
because they don't belong there. So, Thank you.
Anyone else, questions or comments on agenda items only? John?
First off, Jim, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
It's clear you've been part of the community for quite a while. And, it's, when you do retire, I highly recommend it. It's really worth it. It's,
Thank you.
You can take those walks whenever you want.
Yep.
John, your address is what on?
Oh, I'm sorry, 38 J Lane. So I do have a question on agenda items, under the old business, numbers 3 and 4, I think it was?
Yeah,
regarding-
so I did want to note, 3 and 4 are being tabled to comply with notice requirements. There were notice requirements that needed to be sent out prior to those being put on the agenda. So those 2 items are actually going to be tabled for this meeting.
They're going to be different.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Judy?
47 Kyle Drive. Back to the executive session. Is there a change to the redevelopment plan that's occurring?
We can't discuss that right now.
So lots or block 100, lot 18.01 and 19. Can you point to where that is on the map? Because I can't find that. Block 100 goes to like 1 through 13. Where's 18.1 and 19?
Again, this, I responded with the other
it would be on that
question.
map.
This is for public comment. This is really just a time for you just to make a comment.
It's questions on agenda items. Isn't that what I'm doing?
It's public comment on agenda items.
Again, every time I come up here, no one answers my questions, but you answer everybody else's. It's kind of, I don't know, discriminatory, I think.
Ms. Liptak,
Yes?
I don't want
Who's
to
talking to me?
interrupt you. Hi. I don't want to interrupt you, but I think the block was incorrect that was listed on that notice. I think it should have been 95, just for clarification.
Okay.
So that answers that question. But
So it's block 100, lot 95?
I'm sorry, block 95.
Oh, block 95.
Correct.
So that was an error.
Correct.
Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. Thank you for that clarification. There's 2 number 1s. So the second number 1 for the privately owned salt storage. Does this what constitutes privately owned? Is that like a homeowner for their salt storage, or is this a landscaper who's running a company out of their house and how they do that? What defines privately owned?
Well, during the public hearing, you'll have your chance to come up and
Yeah, so these are
ask
for-
questions.
Oh, that one's a public hearing
These
one?
are both for second reading, so there's going to be public.
Oh,
hearings
okay,
on both.
sure.
Oh, I see public comment.
So I'll ask it then. The consent agenda, work from home policy, what is the work from home policy?
You want to explain that?
We have certain individuals that work from home, and we have established a policy of guidelines and regulations that they have to abide by. Simple as that.
I get that, but what are the details? Like, are people working 5 days a week from home? I mean, this is
It
taxpayer.
varies depending on the employee, their title, and, their hours of work. It varies.
Are we, as taxpayers, paying for home office expenses if you're
No.
working from home?
Now,
Especially with the move of, bringing more employees back into the office. Are we looking to
you can have a copy of it. It would be
bring more employees back to the office
available to
versus?
you.
You want a copy of it?
Public
We're
comment
glad
period.
to get it to you.
Sure, but my question was, are we looking to move more people home? I mean, into the office? That's
It's a
kind of like,
It's a case-by-case basis. We're trying to be as flexible with our employees as we can, depending on what it is they need,
okay,
and keep them working.
right. So none of they're not paying for home office expenses though? Because usually when you establish a home office,
No.
no?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Questions, comments, agenda items only? Yes.
Bob Bruce, 11 Harwich Road. Mr. Bolden, you mentioned 3 and 4 were tabled. Would you be able to at least discuss the broad outlines of something on that? I understand it's just being tabled because you didn't produce the necessary legal notices, but we're here to try to understand it, if you could explain it tonight.
Again, this is public comments could be on for another council meeting. And at that time, it'll be brought up for action by the council.
Would like to just have a heads up with you. The only reason it's tabled is because you didn't dot your i's.
I
Right.
understand.
Anyone else? Questions? Agenda items only. If not, we'll move into old business number 2. Ordinance number 23-22 is second reading and public hearing to amend and supplement chapter 163 entitled privately owned salt storage. Need a motion to open up to the public?
Motion.
I'll second it. Folks, questions, comments? Judy?
Okay, my question again, what constitutes privately owned? How do you define privately owned? Is it a homeowner? Again, is it a landscape company?
I can speak to that.
Oh, good.
Sure. So this ordinance was put forth by the NJDEP as
Mhm.
part of the township's Tier A stormwater permit that was recently renewed at the beginning of 2023. Part of that required that municipalities adopt what we're calling this privately owned salt storage ordinance regulation. It would apply to any property owner, commercial or private, that stores de-icing or salt outdoors.
Outdoors.
Correct. So those
Okay.
materials cannot be stored outdoors in an uncovered, uncontained condition. Very similar to what's required by the NJDEP to be done by municipalities, the state, counties. Most of these larger public facilities have salt sheds to store salt outside
Right.
of the rain, outside of the wind,
Mhm.
keep it from washing away into creeks and other things. So,
Right.
for example, if we had, the Target, the Walmart, if they were storing salt on site, this is really what it would sort of apply to more than anything. Or a landscaper, for example, they would have to store bulk salt under cover. So that could be in a tarp covered by a tarp, inside a building, inside a garage, inside a salt shed, some sort of area of containing the material so it doesn't wash away or blow away.
Okay.
The other requirements, there are other requirements, so far away from a creek, a wetland area, storm drain, a ditch, anything that would carry that salt downstream.
Right.
So, and these standards apply to the public sector, and now they apply to the private sector.
So that's the big change, that it's now
That's all it
private.
is. Correct.
So a tarp is okay? You can
A tarp
have
would
a
be
mound
okay.
of salt and put tarp
If you have a
over it.
mound of salt and you contain it, let's say on 3 sides with a berm, grass berm, or concrete blocks like
Okay.
you see,
Oh, right.
then that has to be covered by a tarp, so when it rains or snows on it, it doesn't wash away.
Right. Okay, thank you. That
And
answered-
all municipalities are required to adopt this by the state.
Right.
So,
I'm glad to see that's now for private. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
of course.
Anyone else? Questions, comments? Motion to close?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Motion to act on number 2?
Motion.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Menducci?
Yes, the next one is ordinance number 23-23, second reading and public hearing to amend and supplement chapter 115 entitled fees to add a new section titled tax sale fees. I need a motion to open the public.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Folks, questions, comments? Motion to close?
Motion.
Second.
Motion to act.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Menducci?
Yes. Next is resolution authorizing amendment of the township's petition to the Highland, we're tabling 3 and 4. Okay, then we're down to new business. Number 1 is ordinance number 23-24, first reading to delete chapter 97 entitled curfew and replacing same to be consistent with NJSA 4048 2.52. Have a motion on that?
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Councilman Valcarro?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Rice?
Yes.
Mayor Mendes?
Yes. Number 2 is ordinance number 23-25. It's first reading to delete chapter 145 entitled Message Bodywork and Somatic Therapy Establishments and replacing same to be consistent with NJSA 4511-53. Your motion?
Make the motion.
Second.
Councilman Valcarro?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Rice?
Yes.
Mayor Mendes?
Yes. Number 3 is ordinance number 23-26. First reading to delete chapter 195 entitled Solid Waste Disposal and replacing same to be consistent with NJSA 131E-1. Have a motion?
Make the motion.
Second.
Councilman Valcarro?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Rice?
Yes.
Mayor Mendes?
Yes. The consent agenda 1 through 19. Anything you would like pulled, gentlemen? Hearing none. Motion to act on the consent agenda.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Valcarro?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Rice?
Yes.
Mayor Mendes?
Yes, we do have one announcement. There will be a council meeting Thursday, December the 28th. It's the year-end council meeting to wrap up any loose ends we may have. We doing an executive session for that, Beth?
Yes.
Okay. So it'll be the same as every other meeting. Council reports. Mr. McQuaid?
I have no council reports, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Belcaro?
No council reports.
Jim?
LAA, they
Yes.
would like to be included with the meetings with the park developers, particularly in scheduling construction, so reports aren't interfering with construction.
Okay, that's a valid point.
And I'd like to wish everyone a happy, healthy, safe holiday season. And that's all for now, Mayor. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Mr. Wright?
Nope, I don't have anything.
Okay. Folks, I do believe I've said enough tonight. Again, my thanks to all of you for your support over the years. It's meant a lot, and like I said, it's definitely the end of an era here in Lopat. But it is what it is. Very honored to have been sitting up here and served with a bunch of people over the years, a bunch of names that I read off earlier, and that's just the tip of the iceberg that the Mengucci name has served up here with. So, not to belabor the point, wish everybody a happy holiday season, Merry Christmas, however you want, or whatever politically correct to say. And that's it. Anything for us?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, just to give you an update, currently we have 2 road projects, as mentioned. We are continuing to improve the roadways in the township. Currently, we are in design for Jade Lane, and that will be a resurfacing project of Jade Lane from Stonehenge Drive, just in front of the middle school, all the way to the end of Jade Lane, the entire length and sort of that loop portion at the top. So that will be reconstructed, the pavement will be reconstructed, and drainage improvements will be done, sidewalks will be repaired. It's currently in process of design with a plan to bid that project in January. The second project that we're working on design for is the Bellevue Road Phase 2 improvement project, and that's from Strikers Road to County Route 519, and that is a partially NJDOT local aid funded project. And that again will similarly include drainage improvements, pavement resurfacing, sidewalk improvements at the Strikers Road intersection. And then our plan there is to submit that to the NJDOT for approval by the end of the month for the plan to bid it in the winter for spring construction. So those are the 2 projects we currently have in process.
Thank you. Good. All right. Chief, other than our report that you give us every month?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Yeah, just a update on the Fox Farm Road projects that we got going on with Fox Farm and Lowe's Hollow, actually. We did have our site inspections earlier in November. Everything went well, and Paul and his engineering teams got some plans together. They were all submitted to FEMA, and we're waiting on a response from them. So as things progress, I'll be sure to keep you in the loop on that. Last month, there was some comments about Alan Ritchie and the warehouses on Strikers Road. I did reach out to one of the owners and spoke to him about some possibilities of getting more signage, paint on the ground, and they're going to accommodate that. They're going to put new paint on the ground because I know it's worn off, as well as more signage, more visible signage, and they also agreed to put a secondary guard shack at their exit to make sure that they are reminded that they're only make right turns out of the premise. So they're more than happy to assist with that. Traffic report for the month. The police department had a total of 162 stops, and 55% of those stops resulted in a summons for the driver, and 20% of those summons issued were for truck drivers and tractor trailers. So I also want to comment that our DPW superintendent was able to get all the signage out there on Belvedere Road, as well as Liberty Road. So those areas, those county routes can be enforced, and we've been doing that since they've been posted.
There has been less traffic by my house over the last couple of weeks, so I know you guys are out there, so.
Hopefully that trend continues.
Yep.
But, yeah, we'll be out there, we'll be enforcing that, and thank everybody for their cooperation in making that a possibility and making that happen. So I know it was a lengthy process.
Took way too long.
Yeah.
So, but that's,
That's my report for council and mayor. But I do want to extend my appreciation for your service to this township. I think you've been here just about throughout my whole career in one aspect or another, and your leadership is shown throughout, and we appreciate it. Appreciate all the support that you have given to the police department, the personnel. We're able to maintain our personnel, our equipment, basically whatever our needs were. This council and mayor, under your leadership, were able to make that happen. So I appreciate that, and I thank you very much.
very proud of the fact that we didn't cut one budget, ever.
Now,
You, fire department, so, kudos to the rest of the council. We've righted the financial ship. So, again, my thanks to you guys. I think, again, we have a great police department, and a lot of times you guys are responding to emergency calls before Phillipsburg can get to us. So, you guys have done a fabulous job. I know when I worked for Phillipsburg, you guys did a great job with the high school. I know it was a major concern of ours. Initially, we were going to annex that land to Phillipsburg and let them handle it because they'd already handled the high school. So we decided against that because some of the people in Delaware Park thought we were cutting them off from the rest of the township. I don't quite understand that logic. I live there, but we went with it. And it's, to my knowledge, knock on wood, it could happen tomorrow. But for the people that said, the naysayers, oh my God, there's going to be all kind of accidents up there. There has not been one student-related accident, to my knowledge, at that intersection. So kudos to you guys. There have been accidents.
very infrequent, but yes.
Yeah. We've had accidents on the school property, but not at that intersection. So appreciate all your work. And that was part of the reason I knew it was time to go, because some of the guys that were sworn in as officers, when I first started sitting up here, I was down there when they walked out. It's 25 years. It's time for me to say goodbye. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Need a motion to approve department reports?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve bills?
Make the motion.
Second.
Councilman Belcarro,
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid,
Yes.
Councilman Quindell,
Yes.
Council President Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Lucia.
Yes. Folks, questions, comments? Yes, sir.
Bob Bruce, 11 Harwich Road. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Seem to be a nice guy, and I have had a pleasure doing business with you, and maybe next year for the Jets. I wanted to follow up on last month's meeting, but first I wanted to thank Police Chief Garcia for following up with Richie, and the signage and the paint and the second guard shack is very good news. Also, the 25% increase in traffic stops. I hope that that was a result of Belvedere, and I hope that we see it continued with that. So back to my prepared notes. Again, on last month's meeting, Mr. Sturbin's not here tonight. I clarified that KNS was allowed truck parking as per the 2018 agreement, but that there were agreements on things that have not as yet been built. There was some creep into buffer spaces, and he was going to contact them. I believe I characterized that. Have they been contacted, KNS?
Yes.
They have, okay. I leave it to you expand on that, but that's good enough for me that we're dealing with that. Hopefully we get a response.
It's in the process. We'll be meeting with them next week. We have reached out to them and given them sort of deadlines to address some of that creep and also to complete their improvements.
Okay, thank you. Council President Wright, last month, you had clarified with Mr. Sturbins that parking at KNS is a permitted use for their trucks, but leased parking for other trucks is not permitted. You're nodding, so that is correct. Would that mean that the U.S. mail trucks are not in fact allowed to park at KNS, or is there some legal space where it's okay as long as there is not a signed lease, but rather some other sort of arrangement?
I would have no idea about that.
I think that's part of what the engineer is looking
They're
at.
gonna look into it next week.
That's also part of it. Okay, thank you. Mr. Sturbins, again, he had correctly identified as Title 39 the provision that a property owner in consultation with the Lopat Police can agree to allow ticketing of trucks on their property. Are there any such agreements in place at present, and can an existing property owner contact this council and/or the police to have one put in place?
There's nothing in place to my knowledge at this point.
And can they contact the council and/or the police to have one put in? Because it seemed as if it was couched within the concept of, well, first go to the planning board, and the planning board with a new developer. What about existing businesses? That's what I'm asking.
Any property owner can give that authority to the township.
Okay, and they would contact council first and then the police?
That would probably be the best way of doing it.
Okay, thank you. There are now roadside signs outside Twilight prohibiting truck parking and trespassing. Do we know who put those up? Are they sufficient right now to allow Lopat Police, rather than zoning, to enter there and issue tickets? Or does the property owner need to first enter into some Title 39 agreement for that to happen?
I think the property owner was required to put them there as part of the fine that we imposed on that property.
Okay.
So there are signs there. They're not
Okay.
very professional looking signs in my opinion, but that's just my opinion.
Okay, but Title 39, as you had said, we don't think that that's in place, so we don't think that our police can go in there right now.
Title 39 is not
So-
in place.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
exactly.
That would be enacted by ordinance, correct?
Correct.
That's what I thought. So that would come before the council.
So a Title 39 would be an ordinance,
Correct.
Correct.
each individual business?
Correct. It'd be
Okay,
listed in the ordinance, the Title
Okay.
39 ordinance.
okay. If anyone on council is still looking for a Christmas tree, I may be stealing somebody else's thunder here who noticed this. May I suggest supporting the Christmas tree farm? Because while there, someone was looking at the trees, and maybe you can go there if you need a tree, look at the trees adjacent to the Twilight lot. There you will see all manner of littering and garbage, including a discarded mattress. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize they were thrown there by the trucks that were parking at Twilight. I guess it's the responsibility of Christmas Tree Farm to clean that up. I guess you can't ticket non-known individuals or the property owner for garbage there, but I just want to memorialize for the record that this continued influx of warehouses is going to lead to more tractor trailers, more garbage, more travel, and more illegal parking on our streets. What are your plans for preventing these things? Mayor Mangucci, you said last month about the signs on Belvedere. Maybe we can make some money now. How can this town, led by this council, increase enforcement of these quality of life offenses and maybe make some money in the same time to pay for it? Perhaps traffic enforcement with the funds that defines
Certainly something to be considered. Thank you. Senator Steinhardt?
Well, good evening. Doug Steinhardt, Jacob Way, Lopatcong Township. Jim, I just came tonight to say thank you. It has certainly been a privilege and a pleasure for me to know you for as long as I have. There aren't a lot of us that can commiserate everything that goes into the job. As you well know, it's not always an easy one. And I have nothing but respect for any person that's willing to put their name on a ballot and sit up there at the dais and represent their community, even if they're folks with whom we might not always agree. I still have nothing but respect for all of you with whom you're presently serving or have served. Donna, Lori, it's a long laundry list of folks that we all have the privilege of working with. But you have always elevated the office to a level of dignity and respect that I think it deserves, and give every one of the rest of us something to emulate. From the very first day that I met you when I was a 29-year-old kid, not so much anymore, but you know, you're kind enough to mentor me, collaborate with me, and deliberate with me, and treat me as an equal, and I always appreciated that, and gave me a great foundation under which, or as a result of which, to grow. So a lot of what I'm doing today, I owe to having met you all those years ago, which I think, I guess, gets me to my last point. It is, friendship. I guess there's the one thing in life we get to choose that's ours. We don't get to pick our family or anything like that. But political friends are certainly always the hardest ones to make, and even harder to keep. And it's hard to believe that it's been as many years as it has been, and that through all of that, we've been able to maintain a friendship. I guess it's probably the accomplishment of which I'm probably most proud, and the one that's been most enduring. And for that, I'm just grateful, Jim, to you and your family for the kindness that you've shown to mine. So thank you for everything you've done for Lopatcong Township. You've been a wonderful leader. We're all proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Anyone else, questions, comments? Robin?
Robin George, 34 Walnut Court. I too want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure being on the Shade Tree Commission with you, and thank you for coming out to the Arbor Day celebration in the rain, being the only one that came to help plant the trees. We appreciate you for that. My question actually is, Bill, and since Senator Steinhardt is here, how are we doing with the, you were doing a survey and analysis of putting in that new truck road? Have you guys made any progress with that? You know, getting the trucks off of strikers down to 22, you were doing an evaluation of that. Has there been any meetings or any progress?
I don't have any.
Yeah, we don't have anything right now as of yet, but I know they were working on it, and they were doing a study and stuff, so where we are, I don't.
Who does the study? Is that you guys that are doing the study? Is it the state?
I think it's in collaboration with the county and
A
the state.
mixture, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like a couple of different.
I personally haven't been involved, but our office is working on it.
Yeah, Paul was on.
Okay. Is there any idea how long something, I know this is government, and I know it takes forever, but.
Yeah, when we have multiple agencies involved, it always takes longer.
Takes a lot
There's gonna
longer.
be some DEP involvement, so that's gonna add a year to the process, probably, hopefully not, but
Terrific.
it can take a while.
Good, just curious. And Chief, I wanted to thank you. I've been on Belvedere Road several times recently, and every time I've been on Belvedere Road, I've seen one of your guys out there with a truck. So, good job, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Anyone else, questions, comments? John?
John Kitcherson, 38 Jade Lane. Chief Garcia talked about the signs going up on Belvedere. And I was just wondering, could you comment how many tickets have been given out to trucks being on that road? Have we kept track of that at all, or?
I can give you an estimate.
Sure, that'd be great.
A total of 90 tickets were written last month, and the signs went up probably mid-November, so in that 2-week period, about 20.
Good, thank you. It's amazing that's all it took was the right signage to be able to do that. At the last council meeting, I asked about the result of the court appearance on the property on Bellevue, where the property owner had the tractor trailers parked up against the Lopatcong Creek. At the time, we found that they had been to court, but we didn't know what the result of that was. In fact, you said that you might be able to find out what the result of that was.
Yeah, I did ask the zoning officer, and he said that, they are rescheduled for their January, court appearance. There's some, discussion over, the businesses that they are, that are taking place there now, and how they're relying, the owners now are relying on these resolutions that date back to the 70s and 80s. And so there's a long history, and everybody's trying to gather information to see, what was permitted, and if there's any site plans that, now they have to come forward with, before the planning board.
So it's still ongoing?
Yeah, it's pretty convoluted. It's got a long history of, many businesses and what was approved and what wasn't approved. So they're trying to work through it.
Okay, thank you for
You're welcome.
looking into that for me. I want to switch gears a little bit. Last month, we had the park planner here, and we're asking some questions about the park, the costs, and, we're potentially going over the $15 million budget, and, maybe doing the park in stages. But the first question I have, it was mentioned about a public opinion poll was referenced during the meeting. Is that public opinion? I'm not sure if this was answered already before. Has that public opinion poll been made public? Can the public access that so we can see what?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how do is that?
There was a full report that was put out, so you're more than welcome to pick up a copy.
Okay. Stop by on Friday. That'd be great. My concern about the park is the $15 million price tag, and getting a partially renovated park. And I look around at some of the parks around here, and I find it hard to believe that they would have cost $15 million, like Stewart Park, Heritage Park, and stuff like that. They don't have a lot there, but they're well-used parks, and I'm just wondering why $15 million for our park. But I am guilty of not attending all of the park meetings. I've attended one on a Zoom meeting. I attended all the ones that were brought up here in the council. Some of the other ones I haven't attended. Has the public been made aware of the $15 million price tag, or were they just told that the park is going to be built without raising taxes?
That came out at a public meeting, the $15 million. Matter of fact, if memory serves me correct, the park was around $18 million. And we were actually looking to make cuts to bring it down to the $15 million.
Yeah.
You mentioned Stewart Park over in Greenwich, a very nice park. However, it's nothing as to what we would be doing. Obviously, we have a bathhouse, a pool, a pavilion, the whole 9 yards. And while I will agree that it's a beautiful park over there, heavily used, not really a lot of amenities.
No, but it's well used.
Very functional.
I've been there many times myself.
I agree.
But so the public in the meetings that I haven't been to, that were specifically park meetings, we did say it's going to cost us $15 million.
I don't recall that, but I know it's been said publicly here.
Yeah, in the council meetings I had. Yeah.
I mean, it's out there.
At the last council meeting, Mayor, you said that we can build a park with no taxes. Running it's going to be another thing.
That's correct.
And you also said when Donna was asking about something else about the park, you said taxes are definitely going to have to go up to maintain the park and staff it.
We can build it without a tax increase, or so we're told.
Right.
But
has the council looked into just how much our taxes? Have we done an evaluation of how much it's going to cost to run that park and maintain it, and come up with any kind of idea of how much our taxes are going to go up because of it?
no,
Will that be done prior to construction of the park?
it should be done prior to that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the public will be made
Again, depending on, like the weight room. That's
Yeah,
why I asked,
yeah.
I think I asked, was it our intention to open that to the public? Because if that's the case, you're gonna have to have personnel there to operate
Yeah.
it, so. That weight room is out, so,
Yeah.
at
But-
this point.
But we will go to the public, not just in council meetings, but make the public aware that this is how much it's gonna cost to run the park, and,
I would think that when we have a final drawing on the park,
Mhm.
all that will be
okay, all
discussed.
right, great, thank you.
Anyone else? Questions, comments? Judy?
I was that Christmas tree shopper that noticed that litter down the side of the mountain. I encourage everyone to take a look because it's absolutely appalling. It's not just the mattress. And I saw it from afar, so it really sticks out. It's really disgusting and a shame that, along came the warehouses, along came our truck problems, and now the litter is just appalling. And I know there's a dry creek bed there too, so that's not good for our environment. Every morning I pass that Twilight lot and Sunoco lot. It's now Sunoco, right? There's trucks parked there. The concrete barrier that Sunoco put up there is moved. Trucks go in there and they park overnight, at night. Well, I leave early in the morning, so they're probably, there late at night. And the Twilight lot still has trailers, not as many trucks, but there are still trucks there. So the signs mean nothing if there's not enforcement. So I didn't hear what you said about the signs, what your opinion was.
The signs are there.
Yeah.
That was part of what they were supposed to do. They
Right.
finally did it.
Mhm.
I personally don't like the signs, but that's just my opinion.
Oh, you don't like the signs?
No.
Well, they don't do anything anyway, so,
That's-
right? They're still parking there, so, that's a terrible situation. I hope that we can get control on that. And actually, can we ask the owners to clean up that litter?
I'm sure we could cite them for it or get them.
It's
get them to
really
clean it
bad.
up.
It's disgusting. It's really bad. I hope that we do. The engineer, what is the current DOT project? Are they redoing the bridge? The curve that it came?
I have no idea what they're doing there. I know
We
that.
really don't know what they're doing in our town?
No.
Oh,
I don't know what the
That's
state highway
nice.
crew's doing. I don't know what I don't know what the county highway crew's doing, the state highway crew's doing. I have no idea. That's
Wow.
under
Yeah.
another.
you'd think they'd just give you an FYI, by the way, we're redoing the bridge in your
I
town.
can tell you there's a small bridge being done on 57 that was talked about when I first got elected back in
Yeah,
1998,
Uh-huh.
so that's being done. So nothing moves as fast as we'd all like it. Be glad that it's being
I'll call.
done now,
yeah.
so.
I mean, I'm hoping, because I had drawn attention to that to the DOT and wrote a letter about that, and they said it was inspected, and then it got hit, right? Then someone hit it. So I'm glad no one was badly injured, but I hope that's the hitting of the bridge and the destruction. I hope they're redoing it, because they cut a lot of trees down, so I don't know. I'm not an engineer. You know where I'm talking about, right?
what I'm
22,
asking.
57,
57 and 22, right by the Key City Diner there, that.
right by
Yeah,
Bridge
I'm not
Point.
aware. We had a meeting on the 57, the Route 57,
Yeah.
north of that area.
Yep.
That's on the long-term plan and they're working through.
Yeah, they're working down there too, but they,
But that I'm not aware of what
Yeah.
they're doing.
okay. The Bellevue Road, is that gonna, the bridge that's there, that little bridge that looks like it's sinking?
On Bellevue Road?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
well,
a county bridge?
Right, is that part of the plan? You said you guys are redoing that?
There's nothing being done on the bridge. I met with the county
Uh-huh.
bridge maintenance, not an engineer, but he sort of runs the bridge department for the
Mm-hmm. Right.
county, the bridge maintenance department. They have no plans to do any work on that bridge specifically. We're going to resurface
Mm-hmm,
the pavement over the bridge, it's sort of
Right.
falling apart there, and they're going to clean around the bridge. that
right,
It's all clogged up
Right.
with sediment, but there's no planned work on the bridge itself.
okay. No plan to work on that. Those trucks going over there, I don't even know how they don't sink it. Thank you, Chief, for making inquiries for Alan Ritchie in that entrance, because numerous trucks make the left there. So thank you very much, and the enforcement on Belvedere, thank you. There was an active shooter drill that occurred at Warren County. Were we there?
I didn't have
There was like all towns were around? I read in the paper, like all the.
shooter drill, yeah.
Yeah, did Lopac go?
No.
Oh, we didn't go, okay. Do we not know about it? Was that one of those communication things again that we don't know about?
Are you referring to the drill that was done at the Warren County Votech?
No, the fairgrounds.
Oh, no. I know anything about it myself, so.
Wow, okay. Thank you, Jim, for your service. I know that your family dedicated to this town. I just really wish that the legacy wasn't warehouses and the trucks that we have.
That's my legacy, so be it.
No, I'm sorry for that. But thank you for your service.
Appreciate it, thank you. Anyone else, questions, comments? Donna?
Donna Schneider, 26 Meadowview. I want to get back to the paper streets. It seems to be a paper street palooza lately. You've got paper street alleys, paper streets. Again, these do not belong in executive session. You should be making all of this information public. It should all be public, and this should not be happening because what I'm finding is that, oh, the paper street on my street that was just obtained, that homeowner knows that something might be going back there, so that's why he's putting his paper street into his custody. Now we've got another paper street, now we've got a paper lot. You know my concern for that field. You all know that I come up here monthly and ask about that field. There is a for sale sign. Is there not on that field now that I saw, or is it someone else's home there? But it looked like there was a for sale sign on Belvedere Road.
I don't think so. In the alley, the bowling alley?
Yeah, the bowling alley. Being the advocate for my son that I talked about earlier, this is why I do this. I advocate for my son. That is his view every day, sitting in his room, looking out that window. When I see these paper streets and things in executive session that clearly do not belong, that is when I start questioning, and that is when I question what is going on and why are you keeping it behind closed doors? Because it should not be behind closed doors. So either you guys start putting this out in public, or someone's going to make you put it out in public, because this can't go on anymore. You did it for months for the other paper road. Now you're hiding behind executive again for the paper roads. It's not right. It's just not right. Same with the Highlands. That does not belong in there. It's not right. And if someone were to come in here and another attorney challenged you, all of this would be inaccurate. And not to mention that you put the wrong block. Nobody checked it. You went through a whole executive session talking about it, and nobody knew it was the wrong block number. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. My last thing, and I'm sorry, Jim, I have to do these things on your last night. The October special meeting that you guys had, you set it for 5:30 at night, which probably no one can come to. And the things that were on there were not pressing matters. You had a special meeting to talk about a salary.
That was a personnel issue.
But that's not a pressing matter. That was just about a salary increase. That was not a pressing matter to spend all that money to hold a special meeting to talk about a salary you could have talked about 2 weeks later. That whole meeting, and then you made a vote that was kind of wishy-washy. You had a this or that. You seconded, and then you said no to the vote. So why would it be seconded, and then all of you voted no after you seconded it? It just makes no sense.
What you don't know are the issues that led up to that meeting. That's what you don't know. We had a decision to make with personnel, and we made it. Some of the positions that are in this municipal building, should someone choose to leave or whatever, are tough to fill.
I know.
So the employee has the right to ask, and we have the right to vote and do whatever we feel is necessary. And we did that. When someone, mentions some, I don't know how much of this I can even talk about. Because
It's on the agenda,
it's
so.
a personnel issue, so, I won't obviously mention the individual, but,
Yeah, exactly. I'm not mentioning anyone's
Yeah.
name, that's why I didn't do that.
Someone comes to you and says, they may be leaving, you obviously don't know why, and see what we can do to rectify the situation. So, as jobs come and go in this world, sometimes you don't have the time to wait a month or whatever. And I would never stop anybody from bettering themselves. If they want to leave this township, you're more than welcome to go. But I think we owe the individuals at least the courtesy to find out what's going on. So that's why we had that special meeting.
Okay, is there a reason why you did it at 5:30 and not a regular meeting time?
Probably had something to do with when everybody could make it. at that time. I mean, again, most of the people up here know that we have a meeting the first Wednesday of every month. It's like your planning board meetings, the
Yep.
fourth Wednesday of every month, so.
Yep.
It depends on when we can get everybody together. And I, for one, always appreciate a full council.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
everybody has, I mean, we're all elected up here to do a job, so that's my reasoning for.
Okay, thank you for the
Special
explanation. I appreciate that. But yeah, I have sat and said nothing about all the things you've been putting in executive session that absolutely do not belong in executive session. So you guys either need to start making it right. You need to start putting explanations that they should be on there. You don't need to put a paragraph, but you do need to tell people what it is. You can't just put attorney-client privilege contractual. That doesn't fly. That's not right. It's not accurate. You know it's not right. And you better start doing something to fix it, because I'm getting a little tired of more stuff being in executive session than there are in the approvals. There's no discussions. Nobody knows what's going on. You come out, you make a vote. Nobody knows what happened. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. So I really urge you to fix it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, questions, comments? Hearing and seeing none, I'll say what I always say. Motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Folks, that's it. All in favor? Folks, thanks for coming out. It's been a pleasure.